now, we're in a different frame of mind until 2027 comes. I don't know if the word is measures or mitigations, but even somebody here, I like the question they've asked is, what assurances are there that, you know, you've done the work and you're telling us how you've done it and how you're trying to make sure that the process has diligence and is fair. But it's oftentimes, even if it starts that way, it's oftentimes then co-opted in a way that derails the entire electoral process. Is there a mitigation or something you're already considering in light of that being a possibility?
We are conscious of our society. We are conscious of our democratic processes. We are conscious of our politicians. And because of that, we have sworn to have full fidelity to the provisions of the Constitution of Kenya. So we will not compromise on integrity. The people that we give to Kenya must pass the integrity test. The people that we give to Kenya must also represent the face of Kenya, because they say regional representation. They must include women and youth, and I'm hoping that young people have also applied into this process. We would like to be guided by the principles provided for us in Chapter 6 of the Kenyan Constitution, the provisions of Article 88 that governs the IEBC. We would like to be governed by the Mwongozo Code. We would like to be free and fair and transparent. And the team has made a commitment that we will do our processes openly. And the Constitution, and the law actually provides that our interviews will be public. So, Latif, you have a room to listen to the candidates and come up with your own judgment and say, I think here, it should have been Makanda and not Latif. Yes.
And that, I am completely on that. And the fact that, in fact, my rallying call to all of us as fixers, as all of us as citizens, is when these interviews begin, even before they begin, we'd like to know who are the 1,800. How do they shortlist to whatever shortlist they're going to come up with? And then those that go for the interviews, let's watch how they're interviewing them. And because Dr. Makanda is saying yes, from where he's coming from the conversation that he's had with his team, is that all of them are committed to doing the job right. And Dr. Makanda, I'll tell you, maneno haya si mageni ila kwa mgeni, because even the commission itself, the Chebukati Commission, the initial Chebukati Commission of 2017, the second Chebukati Commission of 2022, all those commissioners would say, we are committed to doing this job the right way. Okay? And just like you've said, it's not about their credibility. We don't have anything that we can say, this is something we can say directly impugns the credibility of any of these individuals, but they caved into pressure. They were under excess pressure, and there was a perception of the public that, you know what, the Cherara 4, for example, they came in during the handshake era, so maybe, you know, they were the handshake people. The other one, the initial Chebukati team, after that entire selection process that what, you know, the Senate and the National Assembly, Kiraito and Orengo and the others coming in and saying, let's create a new commission. It was the same. But we end up where we end up. Because politicians come and muddy the waters and they paint all of them in bad light, which is completely unfair. How do you shield these individuals from that? And I'm saying that because I read the book by Isaac Hassan.
You have, yes.
And I've had interviews with Isaac Hassan and the members of his commission. Those people had integrity. I mean, there's nothing we can say, you know, this guy or this lady. And the pain that they went through being bundled out of office the way they were, it basically just cast them in bad light. That from that point on, you don't even want to look at your children, because they ask you, Dadi, nilikuona kwa TV ukifutwa kazi, watu wakilala kwa barabara wakisema, you know, so and so must go. It's a bad thing. How do you shield them from that?
This is a difficult call, but there are 3 C's that I think that this panel must have a look at. One is competence. We must ensure that we get competent men and women in office. Competence talks to the skill and their capacity to deliver on the job. Number two is their character, which speaks to their integrity. Who are you when nobody is looking? Defines their character. But then the last C is pulling out on character and calling it courage. Courage. That's what the Chief Justice in 2013 had, Maraga, that other Chief Justice may not have had.
In 2017.
In 2017. Courage. So we will try as much as possible to discern and determine the capacity of these people to withstand pressure. You may be competent, you may be a good person in terms of your character, but your tenacity, do you have the capacity to withstand pressure? Because pressure will come in from politicians and from interested parties.
Right.
To stand as a fair arbiter and say no when you need to say no,